So I rang the alarms on the last Luffy. Only fitting I get into this one. Blue Purple Monkey.D.Luffy is the next meta-defining leader to snake his way to the top, and if you want to play him, here's everything you need to know.
I like that joke.
Thank you. Starting off with the man himself, Monkey.D.Luffy, a blue-purple 3-life leader with 6k power that reads, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Breaking this down, your effect happens at the beginning of the refresh phase, meaning before any Dawn is removed from characters or set back as active. You must also start the refresh phase with a Dawn in order to activate this effect, meaning the turn in which you go from 6 Dawn to 8 Dawn, your leader will see you are at 6 Dawn. Once you are at 8 Dawn, going to 10, don't touch those Dawn! Declare your leader's ability, pull up those top 5 cards, take a Straw Hat of your choice, then put the rest at the top or bottom. If you're a former Doflamingo player, you'll know that placing things in order will definitely matter. Then continue your turn phase as normal. Refresh your Dawn, draw your card, and add Dawn from your Dawn deck. Simple. So that leader ability nets us 2 cards every turn after turn 4, which we can all agree is ridiculous, right? Well, that's only half of the lunacy, or Lufacy. By setting up the next 4 cards at the top of your deck, we get to decide what we draw into and what we play into. And I'm not going to beat around the bush here, and we usually wait until later in the video to start talking about some of our top end cards, but this card lays out context for the deck and it's important we discuss it right away. OPO6's Sanji is a 9-cost 9k power blue character. That is an on-play effect that allows you to reveal the top card of your deck. You may then play the revealed character if it is a 9-cost or less and not named Sanji. Then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. This leader is essentially setting up for the perfect multiplay body for this character, instantly doubling the Dawn value of your 9-cost cards. Our entire deck strategy is essentially orbiting around these 2 effects: setting up for Sanji plays, and overwhelming our opponent with a tall and wide board, putting them on a clock that lets them know, hey, if you can't finish me off before turn 4, then you may as well shake my hand. So if our entire deck pivots around these 2 major effects, what are we trying to do? Well, it's a race to the top. We need to ramp like absolutely no tomorrow so we can pop off this combo or search for this combo as quickly as possible. While we're also trying to ramp, we're also trying our hardest to stay alive and healthy. Cards that will help facilitate that game plan, like Gear 2, our new OP11 Flex Purple event. At 1 Dawn, we may rest an additional 2 Dawn cards if our leader is blue. Add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. As a counter, we gain plus 3000 power during the battle. If you're put on first, you're able to play this card to start that ramp train early. Or perhaps you want to do something a bit more useful at 3 Dawn. OPO5's Zorojuro, a 3-cost 4k power, 1k counter character, has a when attacking ability that allows us to add up to 1 Dawn from our Dawn deck as active, provided we have 3 or less life. This Zoro doesn't need its attack to hit in order for it to start ramping us Dawn, and acts as a pseudo blocker for our opponent to divert swings into, keeping our hand and life healthy. Generally, once this character is attacked, we won't really try and counter for it. It serves its purpose in bringing us 1 step closer to starting at 8 Dawn in our refresh phase. Another vital ramper that can cause our opponents some trouble is 4-cost Mr. 2 Bonclay from EBO1. Though he's a 1k power, 1k counter character, his on-play allows us to add up to 1 Dawn as active, and his when attacking ability allows us to choose up to 1 of our opponent's characters to copy the base power up for the turn. So a 1k on our opponent's turn, and a much bigger number, ideally, on ours. Given the caliber of characters that will need to be played in order to swing into our leader, Bonclay will almost always be able to mimic a relevant attacker when swinging back at our opponent's face. Also worth noting, once this character ramps, it becomes another pseudo blocker, all just pawns in our game of getting to that big number. To help us stay alive, we'll employ the use of our new OP11 Nami, a blue 5-cost 6k power 1k counter with blocker that on play, if our leader is multicolored, draw 3, then place 2 cards from our hand at the top or bottom of our deck in any order. This allows us to push cards from our hand that we would like to see later in turns to help start ordering our plays, or bottom cards that are dead in our hand, fixing our card selection. A great play before the major turns of our deck. Another blocker who needs no introduction is Sanji from OPO7, a 6-cost 2k counter, 6k power blocker that costs 3 less in hand if we are 2 or more Dawn fewer than our opponents. And of course, OP11's Charlotte Katakuri is an absolutely cracked card. At 8 cost 8k power, he is a blocker who at the end of our turn sets up to 2 of our Big Mom Pirate type characters with a cost of 3 or more as active. Then, add up to 1 Dawn card from our Dawn deck and rest it. This card notably can target itself. If there are multiples of this card out there on the field, then the effects stack, allowing up to 4 Big Mom type pirate cards with a cost of 3 or more to restand, also including themselves. Then they both give you a rested Dawn. So you can have that Dawn to minus for Gum Gum Giant. By the way, he's also a cheatable target for our 9-cost Sanji card, but most of the time, we're just hard playing him out. What? So for restanding Big Mom Pirates, then who are we adding? 9-cost Charlotte Linlin will function as one of our top end pieces next to Sanji and Katakuri. As a 9k power body, she comes equipped with an on-play Dawn -1, trash 1 card from your hand. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then, place up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life, face up. She is effectively coming down as healing for your leader and removal of an opponent's 6 or less for basically free if played off Sanji. Then if she swings or gets rested, she can restand as active off of 8-cost Katakuri. Oh, and when your leader ability helps set up the turn for us to play 9-cost Sanji into flipping Big Mom from the top of our decks, the card she heals into our life can also be chosen. Maybe we can put a cheeky Gum Gum Red Rock at the top of our life, right? That's more of a line for our deep thinking players. Players like our members who support this channel and get access to all of our videos up to 2 weeks early, as well as emotes and other great perks. Seriously, we couldn't do this without your support. Or maybe we want to target something higher than 6 cost. Maybe there's a pesky body that needs getting rid of, or we have enough bodies on the field and we just need that one final attacker. Well, 9-cost OP09 Luffy is the card for you. With 10k power and an on-play that allows us to return 1 or more Dawn, we can draw a card, then gain Rush. I should also mention, this is also a valid Sanji multiplay target. And going over cards for our consideration. The new secret 8-cost 8k power Luffy from OP11 is decent. It has Rush, and when attacking, trash 1 card from hand. Return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, then give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or character. The trashing 1 card from hand is kind of steep, but being able to bounce 1 of your own cards back in your hand to make up for it seems pretty neat. Gum Gum Red Rock, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger are both excellent cards for mid-game tempo disruption, and also give us the breathing room we need to go to work. Also, as mentioned previously, they are great cards to try and heal to the top of our life with Big Mom. God Thread is also a great card at 5 Dawn, allows us to KO a 5-cost or below, then ramp 1 active. Trigger, ramp 1 active. Again, removal in the mid-game helps us stay healthy later. Blocker Chopper, notably not a Straw Hat type card, is a great card for helping us create Dawn minus fodder in a pinch, while also being a decent chump blocker. 2k counter OP05 for Nosuke is still a great out of nowhere uppercut, break glass in case of emergency card. And Gum Gum Giant isn't banned yet, so let's keep shoving that into every purple Straw Hat deck. Excellent card for this deck, by the way, specifically later in the game where Charlotte Katakuri is able to ramp us back up if we've for some reason needed to Giant twice. Also, being able to fix our hand in our opponent's phase is good. Notably though, firing off 2 of these on your opponent's turn will prevent you from searching with Luffy leader. OP01's Thunder Bagua is easy enough to meet the requirements of in order to ramp an active on counter, and also a worthy trigger. And of course, since we're a blue deck, the threat of hand shuffling back to deck, Charlotte Pudding, is always present. It's also great in the mirror if you've noticed your opponent has set up the top of their deck. So like I said, our game plan is to ramp quick, stay alive while doing it, and roll our face into large bodies. A simple enough game plan, right? Pretty linear with a few micro decisions here and there. Do I play Nami and set up a blocker and fix my hand? Is ramping with God's Thread better since my opponent has too many white threats on the board? Did my opponent not respect the Zero Juro ramper? Will that allow me to ramp even faster? These are all questions that help define a good pilot of this deck from a great one. Endgame large threat decks like Shanks, Enel, and Katakuri all depend on how well you weathered out the early game and mid game, so decks that seek to race you in those beginning stages of the game will be your demise. Zoro and Bello Betty almost consider this matchup free, picking at our hand and life with a rapid assault of 6k swings that could go wider than the amount of blockers we're able to put up. Decks like GP Luffy, however, that are more of a mid-range tempo, are just slow enough to come up short against you. That and your access to Gravity Blade and Big Mom sending their relevant attackers back makes this hard for them. Lucci is also another problem. If they're able to stick multiple 10-cost Kuzans, you'll be out in the cold, so make certain to save those red rocks. As for the mirror, The player whose fist is divinely speedier, or whoever can produce the most bodies without taking more life, wins. And as always, here are a couple of deck lists to get you started. This deck received 19th place in a Japanese regionals recently, while this deck won that same 500-man regional. And if you're looking for more OP11 leader guides or more fun One Piece content, check out the channel and subscribe.